When did you realize that the person you married actually disgusted you? My husband and I had been trying to get pregnant unsuccessfully for over a year, and when we found out I was infertile, it's like a switch inside him flipped. He didn't just seem disappointed, he looked genuinely disgusted by me. "How can you even consider yourself a real woman?" he said literally as I was crying myself to sleep. The next morning, I woke up expecting to see him angry, but instead, he actually seemed happier than ever. He told me he had stayed up all night researching IVF treatments, and he realized I didn't have to be pregnant for us to have a baby. He could just get my sister Sarah to donate her egg to me. I did a double take. I told him that was a crazy idea, but he brushed me off, saying it was already done. He said he had already called her. She told him she was delighted to help, and she was currently on her way here to discuss details. Before I could even process what was happening, the doorbell rang. It was of course Sarah. She came in wearing a very low-cut dress and instantly hugged my husband for way too long. "I'm so honored to help you guys," she gushed while staring at him. That was the thing about her. She'd always had this crush on him that she thought I didn't notice. Her and my husband sat down beside each other, and she gave us this big spiel about me being her baby sister and how she'd do anything for family, all while squeezing his hand and holding it very close to her thigh. My husband seemed so delighted, and I honestly felt like I had no choice but to say yes. In the weeks following, the whole egg retrieval process started, which meant Sarah was constantly around, but she wasn't just around. You see, my husband insisted on driving her to every appointment himself because I was too emotional to be supportive. He started taking her to these long lunches afterward to help her recover. He even bought her a friggin' gold necklace to thank her for her sacrifice. When the pregnancy test came back positive, my husband grabbed Sarah and spun her around shouting, "We did it!" while I stood there holding the actual test. From that moment, everything changed. He started calling it "what you and Sarah created" and saying things like "Sarah's baby" instead of ours. They created a group chat called Our Little Miracle with heart emojis that I wasn't even included in. My husband suggested Sarah move into our guest room to be close during the pregnancy. She showed up with 3 suitcases the next day. I'd wake up at night to find them in the kitchen whispering and giggling. He'd make her whatever food she was craving at any hour while lecturing me about eating healthy for Sarah's baby. I was 6 months pregnant when I found them slow dancing in our kitchen. Sarah had both hands around my husband's neck while he stared at her with pure adoration. "We're practicing for when the baby comes," he said when I walked in. When I told him it was inappropriate, he exploded. "You're jealous of your own sister. This stress is bad for the baby. Sarah would never act like this." I was basically ready to call it quits by that moment. And at that week's anatomy scan, something happened that made me more sure than ever. The doctor told us the baby had Down syndrome. I watched my husband's face transform into pure rage. He turned to Sarah with betrayal burning in his eyes. "You said your genes were perfect." He spat at her. He was mad. But then in the car, he turned on me. "You know, this is your fault. Your defective body corrupted Sarah's egg." Sarah actually agreed with him. Maybe we should have used a surrogate too. That night, he demanded I terminate the pregnancy. When I refused, he grabbed my shoulders and said, "Then Sarah and I will raise it. I don't care if he comes out special. You're just the incubator anyway." The mask finally dropped completely. He admitted he'd fallen in love with her and she was the one he should have married all along. Yes, he said that to my face. I was in disbelief. I kicked them both out immediately, and they instantly moved in together. They started posting about their pregnancy journey on social media. I spent the rest of my pregnancy alone while they told everyone I was an unstable surrogate who'd stolen their baby. When I went into labor, they showed up at the hospital demanding to be in the delivery room. "That's our baby!" Sarah screamed while my husband threatened to call his lawyer. Security had to escort them out while I was in active labor. The divorce proceedings started when my daughter was 2 months old. My husband actually tried to argue for custody, claiming Sarah was the biological mother and I was just a gestational carrier. His lawyer argued I was essentially a surrogate and had no parental rights. The judge looked absolutely disgusted once my lawyer and I presented our evidence. She ruled I was the legal mother with full custody and ordered my ex to pay substantial child support and emotional damage. He had to sell his brand new BMW to cover it. I left that courtroom feeling at least slightly vindicated. I went on to raise my little girl, who is 6 now and loves me more than the world. And the best part is, my husband and Sarah got married 1 year after the whole debacle, but got divorced within 12 months after Sarah miscarried.